reached the Delaney Cowboys Certified Correct Playbook.
Welcome back to the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook. We're under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of the game here. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I've been watching Jason Garrett do this for 10 years. And I don't get any joy at reporting this bad news on Jason Garrett. It's not fun for me. I don't want anybody to think that I enjoy it. But I just happen to know how a football organization is supposed to be ran. I know what presidents of football organizations are supposed to do. I know what GMs of football organizations are supposed to do. And because of the relationship, because Jason Garrett has family ties now with Jerry Jones, and with Jerry Jones adopting this man here that you're looking at in my camera as a son, this all has gotten in the way of the business of football. This has been a decade of mediocrity. Like I said, I don't get any fun out of reporting this. Do I wish Jason Garrett's career could have been different over the last 10 years? Do I wish that Jason Garrett would have been a successful coach over the last 10 years? Yes, I do. I hear he's a nice guy. And that nice guy problem has gotten in the way of the Dallas Cowboys over the last decade. And it's an atrocity that a storied franchise like the Dallas Cowboys have taken over, putting their fans and supporters first in front of an owner that has a adopted son and all of these family ties and friendship. When an owner does that to fans and supporters, that spends hundreds of millions of dollars with his franchise, spend all his money on his team, and you're willing to put the fact that your coach is your friend and he's your family member, adopted son. I hear that there's a marriage inside of the family and all of these things with this man, Jason Garrett, that hasn't taken the Dallas Cowboys to the NFC Championship game in 10 years. He hasn't even won an NFC. I don't even know if he's made it past the divisional round of the playoffs. Any football organization in the National Football League, they will fire you if you haven't done anything in 3 years. And we know Jason Garrett has 3 back-to-back 8 years. There's so many things that Jason Garrett should have been fired for over the 10 years. This is a sports. This is not just a football atrocity. This is a sports world atrocity. You add up all the sports, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, every sport played on earth. This is not only a National Football League atrocity, what's going on with the last decade of the Dallas Cowboys. This is a world of sports atrocity. And no, I don't get any fun for reporting this bad news on Jason Garrett over the last decade. I've been calling for Jason Garrett's job since 2013. That was the first year I started calling for Jason Garrett to be fired. Okay. It should have happened back then. Any GM in the National Football League besides Jerry Jones, any GM of the 31 teams in this National Football League, Jason Garrett would have got fired after his second 8-8 year that he produced. Jerry Jones failed to fire him. Then he came back for a third year after that, after he didn't get fired. Then he went 8-8 again. And Jerry Jones didn't fire this man. And he would have been fired off of any National Football League team across the United States of America that make up the other 31 teams in the NFL. All because Jerry Jones has this thing going on about his son, his family member, his friends, and Jerry Jones has forgotten about all of the fans that you see up in them stands, all of these fans that buy his hats, jerseys, all of the apparel, all of these things that Jerry Jones, these products that the Dallas Cowboys sells to the fans and supporters of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones has proven he doesn't give a damn about the supporters and fans of the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? There's 31 teams in the National Football League right now as I'm speaking that if they were the general manager or the president or the owner of this Dallas Cowboy team, anybody besides Jerry Jones, Jason Garrett would be fired By 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I know 10 owners in the National Football League. He would be fired right after he meets at midfield and after this handshake and this bullshit hug here. And he's smiling as usual. He doesn't give a damn. Jason Garrett's always walking to the middle of the field. That's all I've seen him do for the last 10 years is walk to the middle of the field and congratulates the opponent's quarterback, and congratulates the opponent's coach for just putting their foot in his ass. Okay, no, I don't get a kick out of announcing this news, but something has to be said for the hundreds of millions of Dallas Cowboys supporters that don't get a voice. I'm speaking for all of them. For the supporters and fans that don't get any voice. This entire coaching staff should be fired. Should be an overhaul of this whole coaching staff. Okay, Mr. Jones, so I'm going to help you out. The Delaney Certified Correct Playbook is going to help you out. This is plan number 1 to get you out of this mess. Since you want to keep your adopted son, you want to keep all of these coaches that you like because they're your family members and you're mixing business with family, and this is how you like to do things, fine. You're going to go ahead and give me this drop in the bucket contract, 3 years, $2.7 million with a $700,000 signing bonus, $1.7 million guaranteed. You're going to let all of these coaches know that I'm the director of critical thinking for the Dallas Cowboys. And you're also going to let them know that I am the play call consultant, which means I'm going to be upstairs in the skybox with a headset on. And at any time during the game, we're going to let them call the game. But at any time during the game, if I hit the button on that headset and I say, no, you're not running that play right now. You're going to run that later. Right now, we're running this play, and we're going to be calling this formation right now at this time in the game. I'm overruling your play call and your formation. We're running this formation and this play call right now. We're doing this right now. Okay, then that means you're going to scrub what you had, and you're going to go ahead and accept my play call and my formation to keep this team in line, to make sure that we're always in the right formation and the correct play is always called. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. This is Rod Marinelli's between the Chicago Bears and Dallas Cowboys. This is his 17th or 18th loss to Aaron Rodgers, and this is also a man you're going to see in the playoffs. Okay, so this is how we're going to move forward, and this is how I can get you out of this mess. That's going to do it from the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook. So you're running out of options, Mr. Jones. There's only a couple of choices at this point. There's only a couple things that you can do, okay? Now, if Jason Garrett wasn't one of your family members and all of this adopted son thing that you got going on with your head football coach, something that never happens in the National Football League. Nope, it only happens to the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, okay? So, anybody else in the National Football League that's the owner of a football team, Garrett would be fired right now. As the players are getting ready to take their showers and get dressed, put on their clothes, go out for their interviews. There's 31 owners in the National Football League that would be heading down to the locker room right now to fire Jason Garrett and tell him to start cleaning out his locker. Okay? We know he's a friendly guy. That's great for the community. So that means Jason Garrett's going to have plenty of opportunities. He can run for the mayor of Frisco. He can run for the governor's office. He's got plenty he can do. You just proved to us for 10 years that you're going to keep embarrassing Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones can't invite the president of the United States to sit in his suite with his wife and all of his billionaire friends without getting embarrassed. Jason Garrett is the same man that embarrassed you when the Cowboys were the 1 seed and you guys were 13-3. I believe that President Bush was in your suite that day too. And what did Jason Garrett do? He embarrassed you, okay? You had Tony Dorsett and all the Cowboys legends and dignitaries on the field back here with DeMarco Murray when you guys were about to make a playoff run that year. Some big game to give you a solid position in the playoffs. What did Jason Garrett do? He laid the egg, didn't have the team ready to play, letting teams jump out on him 21-0. It's the same thing with the Miami Dolphins game. Okay, you got to be a football coach and you got to have a football brain like the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook to see these things. That Miami Dolphins game 2 weeks ago, Garrett didn't have the team prepared. Okay, the Cowboys should have had their foot all in Miami Dolphins' ass in the first half of that game. And I don't give a damn what the Patriots did. The Cowboys are supposed to be prepared to play football, okay? And you could see it in the Miami game that Garrett didn't have the team ready to play. I can give you 50, I ain't gonna say 50, let's not be excessive. But I damn sure can give you 20 games where the Cowboys are supposed to have this team ready to play football. And you can tell If your coaches are doing film studies with these players, you can tell what's going on in practice, and because it's going to shine in the first quarter of these football games, especially these big games, and it's going to shine in the first quarter of games when you're playing mediocre teams that are below you, and then you don't get out on those teams and jump all over them the way you're supposed to. The Garrett has proven over a decade he doesn't know how to prepare this team for big games. He always has them playing from behind every time there's a big game. He's always embarrassing Mr. Jones and his all of his friends and everybody he invites to the games. He's always being embarrassed in front of President Bush and all of his friends, all of his billionaire friends that come to his suite. They come there and sit there and watch Mr. Jones get embarrassed because Jerry Jones is trying to pay all of this attention to Jason Garrett being a family member instead of taking care of the business of football. Okay? It's went on for 10 years. It's mediocre. Jason Garrett, like I said, I'm only talking about him as a football coach. You look like a high school gym teacher to me. Everybody can take a good look at Mr. Garrett. He resembles a high school gym instructor or physical education teacher. You look nothing like an NFL football coach to me. That's just my assessment. Do I wish I had something better to report on Jason Garrett's 10 years? Yes, I do. I wish he would have won a couple Super Bowls. I wish I would have had something good to report. Matter of fact, Jason Garrett, you've made the Delaney certified correct playbook. You know, you really tarnish my show because there's so many great things about this storied franchise that I would like to talk about every football year. But we can't get the past that we have a coach that's on a high school football level, looks like a high school gym teacher, and he's always embarrassing the fans, the supporters of the Dallas Cowboys, and his own boss, Jerry Jones, always embarrassing him in front of his billionaire friends. And Jerry Jones won't fire this guy because he's in the family. He's married to one of Jerry Jones's nieces or something is what I'm hearing, or something like that. All right, that's choice A. Hire Delaney, all your problems go away, Mr. Jones, and I'm going to take you to the Super Bowl. Plan B, fire the whole staff by 9 o'clock in the morning. Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, Marinelli, and Rashard. Because he ain't did shit either, okay? Get them all out of here. Go call Bill Parcells. Get on your knees and beg him to come back to the Dallas Cowboys, okay? And I've already heard him say in an interview that he doesn't want to work with you anymore, okay? All right, so there go your choices. Keep all of your people. Get Delaney in here. You'll be headed for the Super Bowl. Fire this staff by 9 o'clock. Fire your adopted son. Get him out of here with the rest of the staff. Total overhaul. And get Bill Parcells back here as fast as you can. Have a good night, Mr. Jones. That's going to do it from the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook. Remember, you cannot win a football game in the National Football League if your coach doesn't understand how to outcoach the other team's coach. You're gonna lose. As I always say, see you next time. See you next time.